Yo, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Devon Toro in raw form, and welcome to another Help Me Devon raw tutorial. And today, in this Help Me Devon raw tutorial, I'll be showing you guys, or better yet, getting you a better understanding of basic routing in any DAW, no matter what you're using, as it is in reference to buses, auxes, and sends. Now, I know a lot of you might be saying, hey, well, aren't auxes sends? Yes, you're kind of right, but I'm going to explain to you how to use these techniques as far as how to route your stuff, what does it mean, and how does it apply to you. Let's get right to it. Okay, so say for instance, you have a singer or rapper comes into your studio and says, hey, record this vocal. You say, sure, let's press play. Listen close. Confide in me, clearly see. Okay, I say, great. The artist says, hey, I want to stack that, or I want to layer that, or let me get another vocal right on top of it. I say, cool. So what do? I go over, make another track, and I press record, right? Simple. Listen close. Confide in me, clearly see. Okay, cool. He or she did another vocal and says, hey, let's do that 2 more times just to make it sound even more full. I say, okay. So what do? I go on over to the DAW, I create 2 more tracks, and I record 2 more tracks. Listen closely. Confide in me, clearly see. Okay, so now we have a stacked vocal. We have 4 vocals on top of each other. Now, how do we affect this? Or better yet, how does routing come into play, and how can you use it to make this whole situation a lot better? Say, for instance, now you have all 4 of these tracks and you want to affect them equally. You want to be able to affect them in one solid place as opposed to putting the EQ on every last one of those 4 tracks. This is where you would create a bus. Now, what this bus is going to do is it's like you're picking up the kids from school. You have 4 kids that you have to pick up from school, and you pick this one up, you pick that one up, you pick that one up, and you pick that one up, all 4 of them, and you put them all in one place where you can basically affect them all at once. And that's what we're doing. So how do you create the bus? Or how do you create this fader that basically holds all of those signals, or basically controls all of those signals one time in one place? So this is how we do it. And this is for any DAW. So what you need to do is you need to move on over to your outputs. You need to tell this fader, hey, I want you to get on the bus. I want you to head on over to this one fader right now. So what do? You go on over here in Pro Tools. What I do is I click outputs, and basically I go to bus. Okay, so for me, I wound up going with this bus right here. This is Chorus OD bus. And I made sure that when I created this bus, or better yet, when I told what place I told it to go, I sent it out stereo. So when you're creating your buses, or when you're sending out your signals to a bus, it's very good and healthy to put them stereo. Send them out stereo. Don't send them out as mono signals. Best to send them out as a stereo signal. Why is that? It's because now what's happening is when you send these signals out, if you pan something left or right, at least the program can pick up, or better yet, the routing is picked up when it's in the bus. Don't get too caught up in that. Just do it this way. Send it out stereo so that it can come into the stereo channel so it doesn't mess up your panning and things like that. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So I have the Chorus OD bus that I have here that I'm sending this out to. So I click it, boom. As you see at the bottom, it says Chorus OD bus, or Chorus OD. Then I go to the other vocal. I put it into the same exact bus, Chorus OD. Third vocal, Chorus OD, etc. Now what I do is I create the bus. I actually create the actual channel or fader that I want it to have all of these signals being affected at once. So I move on over here, and this is the Chorus OD bus, right? Boom, just like this. Now look at the Chorus OD bus and watch this. I'm gonna press play. Look at this Chorus OD bus fader right here. Confide in me, clearly see. Okay, so from here, let me tell you what is happening. I'm able to control EQ. I'm able to compress all of them at once. I'm able to put a doubler on them all at once. I'm able to affect all of these signals all together one time in one fader, and that is why busing is so powerful and you can use it to your advantage. Even from the simplest form, I literally have this as a bus, and I can turn this up or down with one fader anytime I want. I can control all 4 of those vocals all at once. Powerful. That is busing in its the simplest way I can possibly put it. And that's basically taking your outputs of whatever you want to bus out, putting them all to one place, and then controlling them in that one place. So that's basically what you did. You would usually just go over here, create an aux track, as you see right here, track, new, stereo aux, and this is basically what you would create, and then put the input of this as chorus OD bus. So it knows, hey, what am I looking for? What am I listening for? Hey, I want you to be, or your name to be chorus OD bus. So all the inputs is only for chorus OD bus. So that's how you kind of route these things. You set the outputs on the signals that you're sending out, and then whatever is the fader that you want to listen and control, you set the input for that same name. And that's how that is done. So next thing we'll move on over to is auxes or sends. Now, here's where it may be a little bit confusing to some. An aux is short for an auxiliary track. Now, the aux works a lot different from the standard audio tracks, being that one, you don't really record on an aux track. As you can see in my Pro Tools session, there is no record button, and that's how you can kind of identify this might be an aux track. So you see right here, there's no record button like these, how I can make these red and turn these on. There is no record button on here. This is basically used to just control audio or for effects. Wait for it. So basically, you create these aux tracks really to, one, control overall signal, or you use them for effects. And I'll explain that. This is where the sends come in. So let me explain a send to you, and then it'll all come together when I explain that so you can understand the aux a little better. So what a send is these little things right here. So you see these things that say short verb, long verb, doubler, 1/4, mixed parallel. So what are at least all of these things? So this is where the big difference comes in. A bus is made or created to control signal overall. So it's made to control a group of signals overall. You're controlling a group of signals overall. What a send is doing is it allows you to send a variable amount of signal to an aux at any time. What does that mean? It's like this. Say, for instance, I want to create a send to the aux or to the reverb. Instead of sending out a full blast signal at 0 to the reverb, I can send a variable signal. I can send a signal of negative 10 dB. I can choose how much signal I want to go to that bus, as opposed to being stuck to a place of, hey, this is how loud my signal is. So when it gets there, that's how loud it's going to be. No, instead I say, well, I'm going to create a send to the aux where it says, hey, I want it to be, I know my signal is this loud, but send it out this loud. That's what the send is doing. So when I create a send, and that's why we're using it for effects. So I'm creating a send to my short verb aux. Now you can see right here, I have my send at negative 19.6, feeding the aux track of this short reverb. As you see right here, it says short verb. Now here's my short verb. Long story short, all I'm doing is creating a copy of that signal and sending that copy out to the short verb aux track. And that's what makes it so super powerful. So once again, aux track. And this aux track, all it's doing is really controlling signal. But what I'm doing is I'm using this as a send. And the send is sending out a copy of my signal to the aux track or any effects that I have. So all I do is, for my effects tracks I use aux tracks. Anytime I'm using effects, basically time-based effects like reverbs, delays, I'm using aux tracks, because now it gives me the functionality of using sends, where I can choose how much volume I want to hit those places. So sometimes you say, hey, make that reverb louder or give me more reverb. It's turning up the send. All you're doing is telling that aux track, hey, I'm giving you more signal, so come sound louder, get louder. And that's basically what is happening in the simplest way I can possibly put it. So that's basically what I always do. So basically what I do is I go here, bus, I scroll all the way down to my effects, and I see short verb here. And I say, okay, cool, short verb. Once again, you see it in stereo. Most of my buses are in stereo for reasons of, it's a stereo signal when it comes out of that reverb. I want the reverb to be stereo. You don't want a mono reverb with your vocal. Maybe you do, stylistic reasons, but commonly you would want it in stereo. So bus, short verb, click it, boom. Now short verb right here comes up. I say, okay, I want negative 19.6. dB to come out of this send into the aux track. I go over to the aux track. Now only negative 19.6 dB of that particular copy of that signal is going to feed this aux track. And that's basically how that goes. And that goes for the long verb, the half delay. You can choose how much. The more you crank it, the more it's going to be there. So for instance, I'll mess with this and I'm going to exaggerate this fourth delay. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my sends. I'm going to click this bus. I want it to go to the fourth delay. So I go all the way down. I see fourth delay stereo. I click it. Boom. Once I click that, it shows me this aux track. Now I'm going to turn it all the way down for now, and I'm going to crank it and let you see what happens. Watch closely. Now you see, as I turned it up, the delay got louder. So what was happening? Let's scroll all the way on over to our fourth delay track so you can see exactly what's happening. So I press play and I'll turn it up. Look at the fourth delay track as I turn this up. So all that's happening is I'm just this send is just giving it more signal when I turn it up. So basically the send is saying, hey, fourth delay, I'm gonna give you some more signal. Turn it up. Now the fourth delay is louder because I'm sending a louder signal to the fourth delay. And that's what this send is doing. So basically, when it comes to buses, sends, and auxes, they're really all related to each other. It's just a certain way to use it. So remember, just to be clear, just to wrap it up, when you're using the buses to go to another aux track, so I'm busing a bunch of audio signals out to one bus track, all you're doing is you're controlling overall signal through one place. You're controlling 4, 5, 10 signals in one place in unison, so it's easier for you to control. When you're using an aux track, that is the bus track that you're usually using. You're usually using an aux track as the bus. Basically, the aux track, aka the bus, is saying, hey, what signal do you want me to listen to? Give me all the signals. And that's what you're sending all the signals to. You're sending it to that aux track because you're not looking to record on this track. You're looking to just listen and control signals. So that's where that aux track becomes something. You're busing it out to the aux track. Then you have the sends, and all the sends is it's saying, hey, I only want to send a certain amount of that signal out to an aux track. And basically that's where you get that control with a send. And that's how all three of these things have that relationship. Now, if that may be a little confusing to you, by all means, that's why we have a video. You can press pause, rewind, and go back. But that is the most detailed way that I can probably give to you as far as understanding how the routing and things of that nature work. I hope this was helpful. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, email me at helpmedevon@gmail. You can also check us out at helpmedevon.info for any of our templates or anything of that nature as far as super goodies, drum kits, and things like that. Make sure you follow us at helpmedevon on Instagram. And make sure you comment, like, subscribe. That's always important. And this is the road to 100K subscribers. I want to say that one more time. Appreciate you guys, and we're getting there, and I'm super proud of this channel and so thankful for you guys. And until next time, you guys.